friends, it's me, Sunny B, future FNP, and I am back with not a video this time, but the first episode of my new podcast. Yay, thank you for joining. So, after a much trial and error, I have resolved that making videos might not be the best plan of action for me to share my journey with you because I'm such a perfectionist, and I found that perfection is the enemy of progress, or something like that. I'm pretty sure someone said that, or something of that nature at some point. So I have decided to just do audio of what I'm going through. And funny thing, I do have a couple of videos to upload and share with you of the videos that I attempted to record over the course of weeks. In this podcast, the first episode, I will share with you the things that I shared in the videos that I will upload. Now, I filmed the most perfect video for you all 3 weeks ago. And when I got ready to upload it or to play it back, it looked so grainy, as if I recorded it with a potato and some aluminum foil in the 80s or something like that. And I was so frustrated, and I was going to upload the video anyway and ask for recommendations for a new camera, which my husband did purchase a new webcam for me because I use like a desktop webcam that you plug in and out of your computer. I rarely record from my phone, my iPhone. I'm not really pleased with the quality of video. I have recorded from my car, as you've seen in previous videos, but in terms of quality, just my opinion, it's not the best. If you have suggestions on different settings I can try to make it better, then I'm definitely all ears. But for now, I feel that it will be most beneficial to do voice recording because I'm able to just talk, without being so concerned with how the video looks or the angles and the lighting and all of those things that I applaud many content creators on. It's hard work. And, it's just a lot of work. It's more work than I have time to do right now, but I can talk. I can talk all day long. And so that's how we're going to do this thing for now. So in the first video, which I'll insert right here, a clip from that, my goal was to update you on the most current class that I'm in, which is NR602, Primary Care of the Childbearing and Childrearing Adult. At that time, it was week 2. We are now in week 5. And I was sharing with you that the didactic portion of the class is significantly less than it had been in previous classes. And I'm happy about that because it gives you more time to focus on your clinical hours. So it was week 2 at that time. I talked about spring break. I kind of shared what I did for spring break, which was my first order of business was to get a 90-minute massage, which I did. There is an amazing massage therapist. Her name is Esmeralda, and she is thebomb.com when it comes to getting down into the grooves of your muscles, which I have those chronic adhesions. So I need someone who knows what they're doing when they're doing massage. So I did that. And for the rest of the week, I did a lot of nothing, which felt so good to just wake up and meander and watch TV and just do nothing specific. I know a lot of people who did go out of town. I was not interested in that. The hustle and bustle of my normal life called for just a serious chill. And so it's week 5 now of this class, and we have another week break at the end of this month, which is June, for the 4th of July holiday. And I'm looking forward to that one as well. So I recorded a video in week 4 where I was going to share, some more updates and whatnot. And I do have a clip from that video here as well. However, I don't know why I haven't uploaded it. And because of the editing, right? It takes so much time. Long story short, it's actually good that I'm doing this update now because we had our midterm exam last week. And boy, let me tell you. Okay, so this class, I was expecting it to be more women's health focused on childbearing, your labor and delivery, your gynecological care, and disorders that affect women in the childbearing years. And to my surprise, the midterm was heavy on the pediatrics. Now, when I started my clinical rotation, I do recall that my university informed us that the next class, which is NR603, would be where we needed to focus our pediatric studies. That most people opt to do a full pediatric rotation for that class. So I was not expecting so much pediatric content in this class. But that is what the content entailed primarily. And I don't want to say a perfectionist. Okay, whatever. I really care about my grades. I did not do well on the midterm. I'm not concerned that I'm going to fail the class. I've made mostly A's during this program and maybe a B plus or something like that. Maybe a B. Yeah, only one B. Everything else has been an A or an A minus. I've done the calculation, and the highest I can make in this class based on the midterm is a B plus. So you know what? It's okay. It is okay. The grading scale at my university is higher than most. We have to make it 84 and above. And 83 in this program, 83.9 is considered an F. So, you just got to do the work. You got to do the study. You got to know the material because you never know what they're going to ask. So, and that's kind of frustrating when you have 30 or 40 chapters of content and 75 questions. Like you can't possibly read all of that in the amount of time that you're allotted and still focus on your clinical. So my advice is to focus on the main common disorders, know what those main ones are, like the big umbrella. They don't expect you to know like all of the specifics in terms of medications and dosages and so forth. More so classes and all of that, like classes of medications. But with pediatrics, it was very heavily focused on pediatric disorders and genetic disorders and things of that nature and how to manage that. So you better believe for the final exam, I will be extremely well prepared, and I will keep you all posted. I've had a very interesting clinical rotation for this class so far because the preceptor that I'm working with is an OBGYN. She is phenomenal, and she works at 3 different clinical sites. So my university requires that you do a separate application for each location, for each clinical site. And the turnaround time for approval can just be so long sometimes, and it delays progress, and it is frustrating. But we got it all done. I didn't realize when I started with her that I knew there were 2 locations, but there is a third one as well, which happens to be inside a hospital. But they have, I don't know if you're familiar with some hospitals that have suites that they rent out to different groups or practices, but they're not affiliated with the hospital. They're just located inside the hospital, like a medical tower, if you will. And so that was the case with this clinical site, but my university misunderstood and assumed that I was doing clinical hours, or I was attempting to complete clinical hours at the hospital in the inpatient setting, which is not true because I am a family nurse practitioner student, and that type of clinical site is not approved for us, or we will not get credit for completing hours in an acute inpatient care setting. So thankfully, the day that I received a call from my university, I happened to be at clinical with my preceptor, and she was able to explain it to them and break it down so they understand why the address matches this hospital. But anyway, and the fact that I mentioned earlier that the in-class assignments, there's one assignment per week, okay? We use iHuman. Some of you may be familiar with it. You may have heard of it, but that is what we use to assist us with creating management plans and HPI and treatment plans and all of these things for clients that with different presentation. And so we do basically one of those a week, and we have the midterm in week 4 and the final in week 8. And so what I'm realizing though is that even though I can appreciate the decreased workload in the classroom, some days, for example, if my preceptor is not available that day, or if I don't have any appointments at my spa, or nothing heavy on my calendar for that day, which is rare, but in those times I find that I'm not real sure what to do with my hands. So it feels like I wasted quite a bit of time where I could have been studying in weeks 1 through 4. But nonetheless, alas, here we are. You learn better, you do better. And going forward, a lot of this time or pockets of time where I'm not working on an assignment, or I'm not in clinical, or I'm not at work, or I'm not doing something, those are times that I can use to focus on study. So anyway, this is a different upload. I know I'm just kind of rambling, and I'm introducing my podcast to you. So it's a Sunny B Future FNP podcast, episode 1. Welcome. I hope that you like this and are able to tolerate me just talking on this microphone. Work with me, bear with me in the interim while I finish my program, and we'll have more time to work on videos and have them the type of quality that I desire. And thank you for listening, and I will chat with you in the next one.